As a fighter pilot and an entrepreneur, I'm particularly passionate about this concept of peak performance. How is it that fighter pilots achieve peak performance in a rapidly changing, complex environment flying jets? And how could business people use the same tools and techniques?
Raise your hand if you remember where you were on September 11th, 2001. It's almost instant, isn't it? The first flight attendant came up to me and said, "First Officer Bourke, the captain would like to see you in the cockpit." I walked up into that cockpit, and as you all know, this is a very small space. It was me, the captain, the first officer, and the first flight attendant. The captain closed the door, and he handed me a piece of official United Airlines communication that had just come through the teletype, and it said, "We've experienced a major catastrophe." 5 minutes later, we had a ground stop, meaning all flights were canceled. I got out of that airplane, I walked out in the terminal, and I saw on the television monitors what every one of you saw. And my first reaction was probably exactly the same as every one of yours. My gosh, what can I do to help? I immediately called the squadron commander of the 134th Fighter Squadron in Burlington, Vermont, part of the Vermont Air National Guard. I said, "Hi, sir, Major Anthony Bourke, F-16 pilot with the 144th Fighter Wing out of Fresno, California. Sir, I'm stuck here in Burlington, Vermont, just wondering if I could help." Long silence on the other end of the line. "You're an F-16 pilot?" "Yes, sir." "Do you fly the Block 25? The exact variant of the F-16 we flew in California?" "Yes, sir." "Dude, what size boots do you wear?" He said, "I've just been tasked to fly a CAP, Combat Air Patrol, 24/7 over New York City. I need 12 pilots to do the job, but I've only got 11 here right now. I can't do it without you. Get over here as quick as you can." I was escorted into the squadron where I met the other 11 pilots. We got an intelligence briefing. I then sat down with a brand new wingman. We did our own briefing. And then just a few hours later, I found myself taking off in a jet that I'd never flown, in airspace that I'd never seen, with a wingman who I'd never met. And yet, I felt like I'd been doing it for the 100th time.
Fighter pilots and effective businesses have developed some cadence in their business, in the way they operate, to ensure that they drive the results they're looking for. For fighter pilots, that's based on a system of always briefing before key missions to ensure we're all working together and flying in formation, and always debriefing right afterwards, because we know no fighter pilot's ever flown the perfect mission. And I think it's fair to say that no one in business will ever have the perfect day, the perfect week, the perfect month, or the perfect meeting. Fighter pilots always call time out right afterwards and hold a debrief, so we can learn from the mistakes and the victories of today's mission and continue to improve as individuals and as a team. Briefing is not planning. By the time we're getting ready to brief, the plan is baked, and now it's time to execute. Briefing's not a two-way conversation. It's not a solicitation of feedback or input. For fighter pilots, briefing is quite simply the time when the preparation stops and the execution starts. It is a way for leaders to clearly and concisely communicate their plans in a way that everyone understands and expects, so that when we walk out the door to fly our mission, we are aligned and flying in formation. In a fighter squadron, debrief is quite simply a sacred learning environment. Debrief is designed to accelerate the experience of the individuals and the team. And as importantly, it is a safe way to give our leaders honest feedback so they can make the right decisions to keep our organization getting just a little bit better every day. When the door to the room closes, something magical happens. Name tags come off the chest. They're literally Velcroed on. We throw them down on the table. Rank comes off our shoulders, and we create a safe environment. That's what debrief's about, getting just a little bit better every single day. Mach 2 is all about figuring out how do fighter pilots achieve results in a rapidly changing, complex environment, flying jets and how can business people use the same tools. I've had the pleasure over the past 15 years in this business working with top sales teams, top sales individuals, manufacturing firms, accounting firms, anybody who's all about getting better results, communicating at a better level, working better as a team, and individually winning.